I'm essentially here for a very short amount of time where I could be filming. It's only a very small window, so I think I've got to expect the best thing that I can do is come up with something that's it's straightforward.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I go for the Channel 4-esque thing, I'm gonna flop. I know it's very early stages, but with the sort of relationships that I am starting to build here already, it's very, laughable and funny and silly things like that, and that's how it should be. Do you know what I mean? Because the reality is, I'm not going to be here for as long as I'd like to be, and it's better to be upbeat about like little things, even if it's just for a short amount of time. And I think the sort of relationships I'm building with people, I think they would respond well to that, the honesty factor. Like, I am a student, this is very much a learning curve for me, because then it's kind of almost opening it up a little bit for me, so they have more reason to be receptive to that.
Its full title is Steppin Stones, the Porch. The Porch part of that comes from the fact that about 15 or so years ago, the Sisters of the Poor, the nuns in the convent adjacent to our building here, allowed the homeless, or accommodated the homeless, and provided them with tea and coffee and cake and the like.
Hey, John.
You alright, Rory?
Not bad, mate. Can I get a meal to you, please?
You can. There you go. Rory, listen, if you want to go for an out the rain in the kitchen tonight, that'd be great.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
10, 11 years ago, we moved into this house, which is a house that the independent charity Steppin Stones, the Porch owns, and decided that we ought to move on from just giving comfort to actually challenging people and actually saying to people, what else could you do in your lifestyle, and focusing on 4 particular elements: housing, health, employment and education.
What are we cooking tonight then?
We've got a lamb and bean.
How does someone become homeless?
I always put it down to there's so many different reasons. It's from relationship breakups, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, being a misfit within society, you feel driven out, that type of thing. Some people come under a category they don't use at the moment. I call it unhousable. People like pyromaniacs, people who are obsessive hoarders who just fill the house up and things like that. There's loads of different ways of becoming homeless. It's whether you belong homeless or not, isn't it?
Sharon, what do we have here?
So this is Sharon fruit. It's a produce from Israel. So quite often the food bank brings us quite unusual fruits that we've never used before. So today this is an experiment, but we are going to attempt to make Sharon fruit jam.
Well, we'll have to try some.
So nothing is wasted, and you can tell nothing is wasted because what we chop off here, the waste, green waste here, goes straight into our green waste bin.
Absolutely nothing's wasted. Isn't that brilliant?
And then that bin there goes back to the allotment and is put on the compost bin.
That's recycling
ready to produce new soil for us in a year or so.
That's fantastic.
Would you like to use this workstation here?
Is it from Africa or Jamaica or somewhere?
It might well be. I think we'll have to look it up. Sharon, do we know where your fruit is from?
I think they're from Israel.
Really?
Israel.
Goodness me.
Oh, well, there's me getting that wrong then.
And me. And both of us are on camera.
It's not a common
But
fruit. I've
I
never seen
may
it.
be,
No,
I may be wrong as well. Shall I go back and have a look at the box?
Sharon, you've been misleading us.
It's not from the Caribbean. I know that 3 strong.
Yeah.
And once it's soft,
What do you think sort of members benefit from coming to something like this? And yourself?
Well, I've learned quite a lot coming here, and it helps me to keep me off the streets from getting into any trouble or anything. And since I've been coming here, I've learned quite a lot how to make jam and all other things, other different sorts of fruits.
These days you need a lot of qualifications in order to get employed. If you haven't got the right qualification, the employer is going to say no.
Yeah.
So times like this, you spend as much time as you can to get that qualification. So when you get to that job interview, you've got that paperwork that employer needs, and you're straight, bam, you're the person I'm looking for. So centres like this really help people.
So it's providing the experience you need
Yes.
and actually the qualifications you need
Yes.
to work in kitchens.
Yes. But now you need that qualification in order to get in the job. There's jobs out there, but you got to have the qualifications to get it. Do you understand? Or you can sit on the door for the rest of your life. It's up to you. It's totally up to you.
£3 of sugar is what we're looking for in there.
People who come to the centre here are mostly experienced people, and people here are like either on a low income or not working or something. So we come here in order to get rather than sit at home and wait on that gyro check, we come here where we could gain our food hygiene certificate. We got access to the internet. We could apply for jobs. And we've got Sharon as a supervisor. She'll give us a reference to say what we've been doing for the last 6 years.
There's a lot on offer to help those.
She'll give us like a reference.
Because they've been sterilised to just over 160 degrees. There you go, Andrew, thank you.
Tina, will you tell me a little bit about the process after they've been jarred up?
Well, once they've jarred them all up, we have a series of outlets around the local area that sell our pickles to the general public, hopefully. We take them to things like Outer Stubbs, Cowley Road Carnival, local events that happen, and the money that's raised gets brought back here to pay for the ingredients.
Fantastic.
And whatever's left over goes towards the charity.
Well, I must say at the minute our product's been really slow taking off on the marketing side, but hopefully in the future we're hoping to hit the US market and be pretty successful.
Feeling ambitious, are you? That's good, it's good to have ambitions.
How beneficial do you think a project like this is to members here?
I think it helps a lot because a lot of people feel very useless when you're not working. After a while you lose all your confidence. So to be able to feel you're actually doing something and it's keeping you going, it's got to be good for everyone, surely.
Yes.
And obviously it makes them put their effort back into a place that's helping them. I can only see good coming out of it, to be honest with you.
Sorry.
No, I'll take it to wash now.
You will?
Everything goes to the laundry on Friday, so...
You want me to take it down, or you?
No, I'll take them all together, thank you, Stuart. That's your washing.
I'm going on a course like to do first health and safety in the kitchen, then it leads on to cooking, then it can lead on to another course, and eventually they put you in the kitchen for work experience.
That's great.
And then you get a reference on it as well.
And so ultimately that's something that you can use when applying for a job.
But also they write that down as well, so reference getting housing and things like that. So.
And that has some effect in sort of speeding that up?
Yeah, it does, because you say where you've got life skills, you can look after yourself, so it helps out with getting housing as well.
Jed, how long have you been coming to Steppin Stones?
Roughly about 10 years.
10 years, so
Yes.
quite a long time.
Yes.
And it's a broad question, but what do you get out of it?
A lot of inspiration, the will to carry on. As I said, I love the drawing, and you meet across the board so many different people. It's just an enjoyable place, seriously. I know there are some times when everything goes up in the air, but there's always people here to, you know what I mean, to make sure that no one comes to any harm or such. And the help you get here is second to none, seriously. At first I was very shaky as such. I didn't know what to expect. And then I've always liked drawing as such. So about 8 years maybe doing the art. Yeah, seriously.
And you say that the opportunities here to do these projects
Yes.
are very important.
Yeah. Is it not? It's just not just the art, but there's other things like the gardening. You know what I mean? They've got their own gardening thing as such. There's always somebody here to help. It's just like being a part of a big family. Seriously, sometimes when your own family turn their back on you, they never turn their back on me here. Well, I'm trying, as I say, I want to get a TV done as such, because I want to go back into work as such, and hopefully, regarding as from Monday, hopefully I've got somewhere to live as such. So within that happening as such, and then I can get back into work as such. But I won't never forget, as I say, if I have a day off, I'll come down here as such. I'll never forget this place. Seriously.
What are the challenges of trying to find work from someone who's...
Well, basically, the mental health thing carries a lot of stigma with it as such. They don't see, all they see, you know what I mean, even regarding homelessness, they don't see the broad picture. But, as I say, mental illness can affect anyone at any given time. It doesn't individually or single someone out as such.
Would you say, do you feel there's enough being done?
I don't think there is, no. I think a lot of it gets swept under the carpet.
Yeah.
Seriously. I think things should be genuinely done, not half done.
Yes.
Because people's lives are at risk. At the end of the day, as I say, this has been a tower of strength for me coming here. Seriously. And without this, I don't, well, it could be RIP for me, couldn't it? Mm.
It's like an owl cartoon thing that's coming on. It reminds me of something.
You can see it coming along. Look at the reflection. Look at the reflection you started to pull in there.
Yeah.
And the little tiny bits of detail in there as well. That's...
You don't have to put stalks on there. That do look like the
yeah, that's super, isn't it?
and that looks like kind of
And
a
this is
tree.
the calmness of the mountain and the
Yeah.
bushes in the foreground and the reflection coming across.
You get stigmatised with that you've been homeless because you're a drug addict, because there's loads of different ways. I mean, lots of people end up homeless for alcohol. More people end up homeless for relationship breakups, and that can be like partner breakups or breakups with your family. Do you know what I mean? Or kids just being kicked out because parents can no longer afford to house them. Do you know what I mean? But then it can be relationship breakdown based on your drug abuse, or relationship breakdown based on your mental health. So
I see.
It's but it always tends to be there's always a breakdown within what you've been relying on before.
That's a fair point.
It's nice working down here because a lot of people, everybody gets on with each other, and a lot of the stuff goes back to Steppin Stones Day Centre, so it's productive. And it's just good fun. Most of the people down here, they all work. They're all clients of Steppin Stones. So yeah, it's good fun. We do it 3 days a week. There's a lot of work still we had to be done because early in the year there's more stuff's got to be seeded and planted.
Yeah.
You've got polytunnels got to be sorted out as well. And yeah, I enjoy it. It's constructive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we can get people from Poland.
Yeah.
Jello was never a Boy Scout. More like a Girl Guide than a Scout.
I know, I did say I was a Scout.
So 2 years ago, did you know Steppin Stones back then?
Yeah, I've been a member of Steppin Stones now for about 5 or 6 years, something like that. Yeah, a bunch of people down there.
That's great. And how important are centres like Steppin Stones?
Very important. When you're on benefits, time can hang heavy, and you need these centres to help you out, to try and sort of guide you onto something better. You meet new people. There's people that have problems, emotional problems, maybe mind problems. There you go. That's all part of life. But they are critically important. I mean, some people unfortunately at times do abuse it, but the majority of people, everybody gets on fine. No problem. No problem. It's there if you want it. It's up to you. If you want to make the effort, great. If you don't, bye-bye. Put something in and you might get something back, but it's not always guaranteed.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people in the same boat. You've got to be patient. You've got to bide your time. Yeah, so that's it. But it's so here it's good. It's good therapy. It's good therapy.
And that's what you get out of.
Yeah, I enjoy this. Yeah, it's constructive. Yeah, so I know for a fact, you know, when all this lot go out, all of us can turn around and say, yeah, we dug that, we planted that, and the end result. Yeah, I mean, last week I was planting poppies and sunflower seeds. Now, when those sunflowers come out, I planted those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be very rewarding.
It is rewarding. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it makes
So
sense.
it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Well, Steve, that's more than enough. That's absolutely perfect. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
You're
I don't
very
mind getting my
welcome.
hands dirty.
Don't worry about it, mate. There's
I should
nothing wrong
be
with good old Mother Earth.
exactly. I should really be potting up myself now. It's the least I can do for that.
Okay then,
Yeah,
no problem.
thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Come on, lads. Tee up in a minute. Oh, no, sorry. 10 minutes.
I've been doing a lot for the last like 2-3 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done Chelsea 2 years.
The Chelsea Flower Show helped out.
Show, we helped out.
Wowee.
Got invited down there. And I met Alan Titchmarsh and Paul Stone.
Oh, fantastic.
Joe Swift. And
All the big names then.
yeah, exactly. We met all the people, all the famous people down there. And we did the garden. It was hard work at first, but it's good because it's time out, isn't it? It's like a little bit of time out.
Yeah.
Say that? No, that's odd. Oh, sod it. This was moved, the number's moving. Never mind. Yeah.
What's
At
this?
the moment, this is like a support for the sweet peas. The sweet peas be running around here, growing to attract bumblebees and other animals.
Fantastic. So they grow through
Yeah.
all the.
Wind with each pole and wind themselves round.
Oh, lovely. And are you going to plant those today?
Yeah, we're going to plant all the sweet peas down there.
Oh, lovely.
So that's what we're going to do if it doesn't blow over.
I'm sure it won't.
So
I'm sure it
doesn't blow over.
It looks very sturdy, a lot better than what I can do.
It'll blow with the wind anyway.
And yeah, so you've got the little red light going, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wipe this up here, and hopefully this is the first film project class. And hopefully people are going to come along to this on Monday, all being well. Because I've got time on the tape, sort of.
Is he teaching you the tricks, is he?
It's pretty good actually because it's filming now. And
It's filming in, isn't it?
yeah, so I mean, I might come along.
This is an experiment that we are going to attempt to make Sharon fruit jam.
Fruit is wrong.
I'm from Israel.
Really?
Yes.
Good to see.
Oh, well, it's me getting that wrong then.
Oh, and me.
It's not common.
But I may be wrong.
There's an all on offer to help those.
I'm interested to just look, yeah.
You sure you don't want to have a go?
No,
Why not? Go on, have a go, film something.
no,
I can use it in the documentary then.
no, I'm not very
To
good.
see if there's like a bit on the lens. So when you
8,
get the edit
9.
suite, you realise you've been recording and there's something on the screen. Or
Yeah, well, mine's not things about it.
and what you'll see, actually, as you say, a lot of the shots will be. I will run. But I find I can't do it with my finger, so I usually...
So you zoom with that?
If we zoom in...
Well, you've got 20 times zoom or whatever it is there.
Okay, so it's just here, so is this... Oh, I see, look.
So, sorry, how'd you do it?
That's a free. Yeah.
Sorry, let's get it over here.
Yeah, let's move you, Steve, just slightly further that way.
I'm not sure how wide we can get it, sort of... This is on...
yeah, don't worry, whatever...
This is on max... Oh, no, there we go, that's not too bad. Actually, that's not too bad. Is this recording anyway, sort of?
It is, yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. Okay, so...
We shall see.
Okay.
What do you think of that? Happy?
Yeah.
Well, the screen hasn't cracked, so I think...
I always say that.
Will you tell me what your favourite project is here? So
we allow our members, to an extent, to decide which direction we move in. And I think that is the same approach that you've taken with your filming. I think you came there, you've presented yourself as a blank slate. You've not come in pretending to know everything about everything. You've asked lots of questions, and you've sort of been honest about your naivety. And I think because you've done that, you've allowed as much as possible the members to come on board, work alongside you, and again to sort of almost guide the
and shape the documentary.
And shape the documentary. Yeah, that's why it's worked so well, because I think that's the sort of approach that we take on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, and I think that's what you've done throughout your time here. I think that's why it's been received so well, and hopefully why it's worked so well.
Torture.
Yeah.
For what the things have got, what you got going. There's street service. There's so many in there.
Be lucky to.
You're only
22.
22, yeah. But I wish you great in your career, because that's one of the best careers you're going into. There's a lot of money in it. I suppose you're going in for the money or the interest.
Well, no, the interest in, if anything.
Bit of both, isn't it?
It was a one-off, but trying to start my own project as part of my time here was quite important to me, because it sort of justified my time filming here and gave it quite a bit of reason beyond just showcasing the best of Stepping Stones and the importance of these opportunities. It was quite important to see whether I could then initiate one and give something back to those who've contributed so far.
Okay.
Am I allowed to use any of this in the documentary?
I don't mind.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind.
Well, we've got that on camera. All along the way, when setting up any sort of interview situation, a lot of it's been self-filmed, and I haven't had another cameraman there where I usually would, and I've used that space for those around me and possibly that member themselves to help me set up the camera, to little things, even setting up the framing, or even just pressing record. And I think bringing down that divide was a great way of getting more out of people.
I think the approach that you've taken is the right approach.
Well, I'm so pleased to hear you say that, because I think subconsciously that is what I always wanted. I said at the very start, back in October, I was quite worried about how to approach people, and I decided upon a very honest policy, of a very honest way of filmmaking, a very moral way of filmmaking, if I could, filming in real time and in sequence with the events as my time progressed here, and being very sort of open to the fact that I was a beginner and I would really need people's help. I think it's an interesting way of filming. I was quite against having me in it, because I thought it would detract from it and look a bit too self-involved, but now that I am, I think it's so important to people who do see it to see how it has affected someone who's known very little at the start and just been, taught so many things about not just the reasoning, but beyond that, after someone has become homeless, and the wonderful processes of how to restore people's lives and get people back into housing if they so wish, and importantly back into work and enjoying life. and it feels contrived, but it's not. It's just that it's so important that the people seeing this understand. Stepping Stones is really quite a unique place in comparison to other centres I've seen because of these projects, because of these opportunities that are laid on a weekly and bi-weekly basis. And I've certainly learned how important those opportunities are, you know, to members for restoring, you know, individuals' self-confidence and even go as far as to say as people's self-worth. And I think that's something that must be maintained, that must be kept going. Things like, you know, the allotments and the Porch pickles and things that actually feed back in to the charity and feed back into the centre. I think that's quite an important point.